don't have a cat. We normally have a cat at this stage.
Now we're doing a couple of people. Right?
And then we don't have to be awkward in this beginning bit. We can just shove a cat in people's face. I can't hear the music. I wish for more music. How are you?
I'm alright, thank you.
How are you? The internet.
You, the internet.
At large. Thank you. Ruth made the rainbow hair. I thought it would brighten up the quarantine. / I got really bored. I made it 67 days.
You did. You did.
That's longer than I used to make it before quarantine.
That's true.
Yeah. I shall get points. You waved?
A bit.
You did the
I
waving?
did the waving.
You pushed the button?
Yeah. You're very brave.
Yeah. I used... Sorry, Rose decided to go away. I used to literally dye my hair at least once every 2 months, I'd say.
Something like that.
Thank you. Ruth made the hair. Now you're here.
Yeah.
Sorry, the cat. Not all of you. It's lovely that all of you are here. The cat earlier was unavailable. Howard's here.
The internet says hi, Howard.
Howard, be polite. Say nice. Say hi to the lovely people. No, that's your butt. Fair enough. He does answer to his name. He mostly answers to, you want to demonstrate?
Hi.
Ruth saying
Hi.
hi in that tone, which I don't think you will ever quite forgive him for.
Hi. You possibly can't hear, but every time I say it, he does this little rumble.
Yeah, it's like, hi! Hi! He is pretty perfect. He is pretty perfect. That's you. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Aberdeen is a really long way away.
It's a long way away from us. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't know where Kirsten lives.
Kirsten lives normally.
Fair point.
She might live right next to
Right
Aberdeen.
next to Aberdeen,
Who knows?
yeah. It's really long for us, so very impressive.
Yeah. I hope the moving went okay. The packing up went okay.
Why do people keep moving in the middle of our Instagram lives?
Kirsten's packing up her student flat. Is that you done with uni properly, or is just the end of
This bit.
this year, as it turned out, been in the mid-May?
Oh, okay, London too. So yes, a long way. So yeah, I was
Long
right.
way. It is a long way.
It's
Yeah.
a long way.
But Aberdeen's not a long way from everywhere.
It's Glasgow.
Less long from there. Yeah.
Now we had loads of questions sent in by people who either can be here,
Just for the year.
but also people who can't be here.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how about 17 Instagram lives we were asked by Infinitely EM about the Would You Rather Shadowhunters edition on YouTube?
Yes, I recall that.
and
yeah.
how we keep failing to watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I did?
You watched it.
I watched it,
Good.
and I collected all the questions.
Good.
Now, some of these are quite serious.
Okay.
Some of these are very out there.
Okay. Are they like a fandomy or just Shadowhunter-y or?
They're a bit of everything.
Okay.
And I think we should take turns.
Okay.
Which country, not the UK, would you have liked to live in because of how they dealt with this crisis? Starting off on the heavy side.
New Zealand seems to be a winner on that one.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think being back home would have been alright. So, Switzerland.
Yeah.
Because they've had very, very little deaths, and very little deaths seem to have made them go, let's go into lockdown and, you know, stop here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And half of the Scandinavian countries, but not the other half.
Yes. True.
Korea.
Taiwan apparently handled the situation amazingly.
Mm.
I would struggle, I think, though, to be stuck. Those countries are countries that I'm completely unfamiliar with.
I think this is actually if you live there rather than
Right.
if you'd been on holiday and then got stuck.
Because I think I'd have panicked slightly if I was stuck as far away as any of those places.
Where was that lady that was stuck somewhere? That we know somehow. Madrid lady who was stuck in. It wasn't quite New Zealand, but it was somewhere really far away.
I don't know.
No. Anyway, stuck for a very long time, very, very far away from home. And yeah, it would probably not be great. Do you want to go?
Mm.
It starts here. So you can...
Would you rather have fingers as long as your toes or toes as long as your fingers? Toes as long as my fingers.
I mean, yes, though I have fairly long toes. And I don't really think I would want them to be any longer.
I definitely wouldn't want my fingers to be any shorter, though.
No, they'd be useless.
Because also your fingers are way more useful than your toes are.
Yes,
And
though
you have
can't...
specially made shoes and nobody can ever tell.
Yes,
But you've got freak feet.
though you hate wearing shoes and socks.
I do, but I
So you'd struggle.
hope. Yeah.
But like your toes are super useful. You need your little toe to stand up. And
Yeah, but
stuff.
you wouldn't lose your little toe, would you?
Well, also if you had fingers as long as toes as long as fingers, maybe they could do cooler stuff.
Or like monkey toes.
Yeah, and like reach for
Maybe.
stuff and pick stuff up. I mean, my toes can do that now. Your toes cannot do that.
They cannot. No, that's true.
Countries with female leadership seem to be doing the best. Yep, I think that's a fair shout. How's Canada doing?
Alright.
Okay.
Not. Alright. Yeah. Very sensible people, the Canadians.
Just as far as yeah, countries with not female leaders that are doing okay. You'd look like Pippi Longstocking with your big toes.
Yes.
Yeah. Finger toes, you could play with piano with your feet. True. You could play duets with yourself. If you had your hands and then also your feet.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to be pretty bendy.
If you
I'm not sure my knees would be
really
up to
bend
that.
it, yeah, maybe not. But like in theory.
If you had two pianos, if you had like a keyboard on the floor and a keyboard up here, then you could.
See, there's the possibilities.
But definitely fingers as long as my toes, not.
Yes. Yeah.
No, toes as long as my fingers, not fingers as long as my
Yes,
toes.
definitely long toes, not short fingers.
Yes.
Short fingers,
Would just be
Useless.
less useful than my current fingers.
just below.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you would then have cat feet.
You would? But you would be able to do no piano playing at all.
Yeah, but he can't do any piano playing now.
But you could if you wanted to.
Oh, man. Do we have an overwhelming vote for finger toes? Thank you, Juniper. I love my hair. Ruth made my hair. It makes me happy. Oh, Canadian here. We're doing okay. Most of our cases are limited long-term care homes.
Yeah.
Good. I like the casual Kirsty Goes Michelle. Just become a contortionist. It's like, I'll get on that.
I think that was the idea of you trying to play a piano with your toes as well.
I'll get on that.
Yeah.
I barely bend. At the moment, I barely sit without, pain. Juniper, what you just walked into is a discussion on whether you would rather have toes as long as your fingers or fingers as long as your toes, mixed with an earlier discussion about which country is dealing the best with the pandemic. Because we've had a range of questions on a range of topics, serious to non-serious, and we decided to just smush them. Because smushing is what we do.
Smush, smush, smush.
I have absolutely no musical talent whatsoever. But Ruth plays some instruments, or at least used to play some instruments.
I play the violin and the clarinet, and I used to sing. I did lots and lots and lots of music when I was a kid, and did it up until university, and then, as is the way of these things, I went to university and I stopped taking weekly lessons and doing practices and wasn't in orchestras or, music ensembles or whatever anymore, so kind of fell out of practice, so I don't play very much anymore, but theoretically I can play the violin and the clarinet.
And there are a crazy amount of instruments in this house. Less so now that your brother's moved out with his 18 guitars.
Yeah.
But there is still a crazy amount of instruments in this house. None of which I touch because it would be bad. It would be bad. I did go through the classic stage of following indie bands and buying a guitar that was really pretty, and then lived in the corner of my room looking really pretty, which I believe I gave to your brother. I think he has that one also.
Yay for fellow violin players.
Yeah, violin friends. Mary wants to know what episode of Merlin Season 2 will be your drinking game this time round.
That is to be decided. I imagine we'll put a few of them up for a vote.
Yeah, we normally stick 4 of them up on Twitter because that's the maximum number of things you can vote on Twitter.
I would have thought that Lancelot and Guinevere would be a pretty good one.
Is this a pretty good one because you'd enjoy watching it, or pretty good one as in we're going to get hammered?
I think the popular favourite from season 2 is The Last Dragon Lord, but I don't really fancy doing that as a drinking game. It's a bit serious businessy. So I'd be inclined to pick something from earlier on in the season.
Yeah. Also, to be fair, we're probably going to be doing 2 because we've got the summer hiatus coming up. And then we've got the traditional New Year's.
So whether we'll have finished season 3, we'll be most of the way through season 3 by then.
Oh yes, of course we will.
So we could do either from season 2 or season 3 by then.
Yeah, sorry, no, that's me being dumb.
So we don't know. We'll ask you guys.
But there will be a vote and you will all get
Sweet Dreams would be a good one. Yep. Sweet Dreams would be a good one.
Also, that would be, I love that episode anyway, and it would be just so much more fun when drunk. Yeah, that'd be a good episode.
Is my brother a musician? No, he is not a professional musician.
He's been in many a band.
He's been in a lot of various band formations. He plays guitar quite nicely, and is a guitar enthusiast generally. So he has more guitars than I think is strictly necessary for the amount of guitar playing that goes on in his life.
More guitars than what he has fingers.
That's true.
Or toes.
Yeah. If we want to avoid serious business, we'll have a hard time finding a drinking game in season 5. That is true. That is very, very true.
That
That is a problem for another time.
is a 2021 Michelle and Ruth problem.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the season 5 opener the one where Merlin runs around and gets Arthur's shirt from the kitchen where he is drying it / making it smell like chicken? And he's got that new purple shirt. Isn't that season 5?
Was that season 4? I get them muddled because it's so...
Oh, it's season 5 with the
Season
rocker.
4 and season 5 are so overarchy plotty that I lose track as to what's in what.
No, because 5's got the snow opener, doesn't it? And 4's got the rocker.
Mary says that's a season 4 opener.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I like that episode. Well, I mostly like Merlin running around like a lunatic looking for a chicken shirt.
We'll find something. It'll be fine.
There's probably a goblin episode in there somewhere. There always is. Every season has one.
Yeah.
Season 4. I suck. Just as we discovered in the Merlin quiz. We actually suck at Merlin knowledge. We really shouldn't be.
I haven't seen season 4 and season 5 in like...
Hey, Puppy-Doo! Oh, years.
Years?
Years, yeah.
Like, probably 6 or 7 years. It's been like...
Yeah.
I think we rewatched once...
Basically,
after season 5.
we kept trying to do rewatches, and because of the whole completionist thing, we kept starting at season 1, and then life happened. And then, like, 2 months later, we'd go, oh, we want to rewatch Merlin. And we'd start again at season 1. So we've seen season 1 and 2 in a reasonable amount of times. And, yeah, I think I've only seen 4 and 5 once live and then once more.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's the case for me too. So it'll be really interesting. Which is, yeah, it's really weird because I've seen seasons 1 through 3 a dozen times. All of them, but...
You can do the Death Song of Uther Pendragon. Cheerful. Also, I don't think there's a single horse in that. It's a good episode, though. Or a Servant of Two Masters. Yep.
You do that too, as in start things from the beginning for a rewatch.
Rather than get drunk.
Um,
Who was it that wrote in for the roundup after playing a drinking game?
oh, can't remember.
I want to say Eric, and I know that's wrong, but anyway, someone did that and it was awesome.
There's horses in the episode.
Oh, that's right
in all
then.
the episodes. It's always horses.
Yeah, I mean,
Now the challenge is going to be finding a Merlin
I
episode.
know.
With no horses in.
there's not many horses in The Last Dragon Lord.
But there are horses in it. They ride.
Yeah, no, there are some. There's not many. Anyway, pick another question. Delete this question. We've done this question. The answer to the question of what episode are we going to be drinking to is we are not.
What's the thing you missed most during lockdown? Have missed so far, and have you had any good cravings?
I mean, weirdly enough, so there was like 3 weeks when we couldn't get any mayonnaise. And it was unreasonable how much I missed mayonnaise. I didn't think this before. Like, I knew I liked mayonnaise, but I didn't think there would be just several times a day when I would go into the fridge to make myself something, and I required mayonnaise for it. And that was really sad. That was very upsetting. You've just been craving...
I've just been craving
the sensation of
food
taste.
that tastes of stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to update the lovely people
I can taste things.
on your taste and smell?
Things. I'm up to like 40% on the taste front. I can taste coffee. It tastes like coffee. I cannot tell whether it is good or bad coffee, so I've been drinking coffee of a seriously questionable quality.
I can help with that. All coffee is bad coffee. Continue.
But I can taste lemon things and all sorts. It's very exciting.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the lovely people what the first thing you could smell when your sense of smell came back?
It was cat poop.
It was cat poop.
Not nice. But yeah, so I've been missing the sense of taste that usually
craving.
I enjoy.
The taste.
And craving things that taste.
Just
stuff.
craving the taste of taste.
Yeah.
I haven't really had any lockdown cravings, though I was very much on board with the meme that was about, like, very early on, beginning of lockdown. It was like, okay, I've bunkered down, I've got all of my things, I'm never leaving the house again, this is serious, lockdown. 2 minutes later, goes to the shop because you want a Twix.
Yeah.
I've been, yeah. Also, I learned the other day that Kit Kats don't have tin foil anymore.
Are they in plastic?
They're just in paper wrappers, which awesome for the environment, but apparently they don't have tin foil anymore. And ever since I learned that, I've really wanted a Kit Kat.
Oh, I've made the...
You broke it. Fader Sticker says, same but mustard. Eventually bought 3 types of mustard and bring them all out over... Every time we have French fries. I mean, obviously they're your condiments and they're your French fries. I'm not sure about mustard on French fries. I love mustard. I will put mustard on, like, everything. But I'm not sure about the French fries.
I literally only have mustard on vegetarian sausages. That's all I eat mustard on.
Well, you don't eat meat, so that takes out an awful lot of the things you can put mustard on.
Sometimes I put a little bit of grainy mustard in mashed potatoes. Sometimes.
Mustard is life, but would you put it on French fries, Anjali? Because I'm not sure. I will try it next time I have French fries.
Thank you, Jess.
Don't apologise, Abby. Also, I hope you're now eating your dinner.
Dip one side of mustard and the other side in ketchup. I dip chips in mayonnaise, so...
Yeah, which also a lot of people think is weird, so we really can't.
It's not weird, it's Belgian.
It's German. Very German as well.
Chocolate is life, I agree.
Have you done mustard on eggs? Yes, yeah, absolutely. I think mayonnaise and mustard both are awesome on eggs. Though mayonnaise always seems culinarily redundant, considering it's made of eggs. But it's really good on eggs. How can your brother hate mustard? That's so upsetting. Mustard is the best. I import my mustard from Switzerland. Mostly because your English mustard kind of sucks.
I don't know. Mostly we have French mustard. So.
Kind of sucks. You don't even make your own mustard and yet it sucks.
Mayonnaise and chips is the best.
However, Mary, you need to now tell us what your cravings have been. Because Mary ends her question saying, have you had any good cravings? I did. But no follow-up.
Cryptic.
Yeah, mayo and ketchup mixed together for fries and potato chips, absolutely. It's like the
Oh, don't steal my phone.
poor person's version of cocktail sauce. Shrimp sauce. I know we have divided this chat with the mustard. What was an activity/skill that you got to pick up during lockdown or finally found time to do?
I've also been craving a proper espresso from a cafe. Juniper, yes. Proper coffee is my big lockdown miss.
But you wouldn't appreciate it at the moment. You'd still... I could just put your coffee in a cardboard cup.
Not at the moment I wouldn't appreciate it, but like in principle.
No. I made a chai latte the other day on the stove and in the microwave and it was pretty okay.
I don't know what I've been doing since lockdown that I don't usually have much time for.
I've been like sewing a lot, but I mean obviously that's, I have free time in my hand, but not like I've been wanting to do this for years. It's just I now have time in my hand and I have learned no new skill. Ooh, God. I've learned nothing. I've been really struggling to read, which has been quite upsetting. I've got no attention span.
Yeah. You don't have to make face masks.
Yes, I did learn how to make
That's a
face
skill.
masks. Yeah, I guess so, but the skill is still sewing.
Yeah, no, I know, but like
You're just sewing your thing.
You couldn't make them before. And she made them with plaid.
Ta-da!
Look at the little plaid edges. Aren't they cute?
Contrast trim. So it looks nice. A little ribbon. And then put it on your face.
That's how it goes.
And you save lives. Because it stops you from licking people.
Should have mentioned one of those years ago.
No. So, if only you'd known. And I think to be fair to Ruth/me, that is absolutely a skill that I learned. Because this is the first one I made. And it is not good.
No, it's much
not
less
good.
good.
It's not good.
So yeah, that's a skill you've learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Really boringly, I don't think I've been doing anything particularly interesting with
Oh, Mary.
lockdown life.
I crave mainly human contact. It's like, yep.
Yeah, I miss my friends.
In terms of food cravings, really wanted to eat those sandwich biscuits with the chocolate in the middle dunked in milk.
Will nobody deliver those to you? You could order some off somewhere.
You probably get them off Amazon.
Probably. You
You
can
can
get
get
everything
anything
off
off Amazon. Which, you know, is bad in a global, the world is going to pieces kind of a way, but useful sometimes. I mostly, like, there's a kind of... Because, like, you know, I crave gluten, but I always crave gluten. Ever since I've realised I'm gluten intolerant, I crave gluten. I would pretty much kill you for a croissant, like... Yeah. Just like being honest. Have you been making TikToks?
What have you making TikToks of?
What do you TikTok?
What have you TikToked?
Hey Lizzie. I'm homeschooled, so most things are the same, but I miss my friends and hugging people. Yeah. I was working today, and that was interesting in many different ways. So there's a fundraiser currently being put on for my farm, where basically they've been exercising on their doorstep, socially distanced with the entire neighbourhood, and they're doing a 12-hour marathon of on-the-step exercise, and we decided to take some alpacas down there for the opening to kind of just, you know, jolly them on and all that. And oh my god, my feet were so angry with me because we were done with shoes. We hadn't worn shoes for more than 10 minutes to go to the shop in a very long time. And then suddenly, not only did we wear shoes for like 6 hours, we also decided to do jogging around the square with alpacas. So that was not good. But secondly to that, I also saw a work friend of mine who I have not seen in a very, very long time. And we hung out for an hour at the farm afterwards. And at the end, I hugged her. And it was nice.
Oh, Mishka.
I know. No, I asked whether it was okay. And she said it was. But it was nice. Human contact. Vader Zika says, oh my god, I would kill for a decent croissant. But the question is, would you kill Ruth for a decent croissant? That's the stakes here.
Gluten-free croissant. They don't exist.
No.
We've looked extensively.
Also,
You
like...
can make many things decently gluten-free. Croissants are not one of them.
Tesco do a gluten-free, like those semi-baked, semi-frozen croissants. They are the worst.
Yeah.
They're just horrible. Ooh. Okay. So yeah, it's just a craving of biscuits because biscuits are bad for
That's
you,
just
not because they don't exist.
A normal life problem.
Yeah. We all feel that one.
Yeah.
The biggest bummer for me was that I was supposed to go on a field course abroad at the end of April, but it got properly cancelled, which sucked. Yeah. Yeah, very much feel you on this one. I now want to go on Abby's TikTok. Send us your TikTok link afterwards. Yeah, massage. Absolutely feel you on the massage. Fader sticker would not kill you, so you're okay.
I've been barefoot pretty much all of the lockdown too. I'm enjoying barefootness enormously. Shoes suck.
Shoes do suck. My feet are very much in agreement with you. Though
I thought I liked shoes.
I'm slightly worried about the barefoot in New Zealand because everything in New Zealand wants to kill you.
doing more cooking from scratch than pre-pandemic. Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yep, same.
Summer plans, yeah.
Yeah, many cancelled plans. And absolutely no awareness when any of those are gonna happen again.
No. The socks sucks. I can't live without them.
I love socks.
I'm not a big sock person.
Ruth's not a sock person. It's very sad.
I don't like my toes being squished. But
I'm not sure how we're still friends.
I'm not against socks in principle. Sometimes your feet get cold and you need to put socks on.
Fuzzy socks are the best thing in the world. I thought, okay, apparently New Zealand only has one poisonous spider. All of the poisonous crap is in Australia. Well done.
Alright.
Put all the awful stuff over there.
I'm off then.
Clary5 wants to know, how did the interview with Bradley come about? I think this is very appropriate right now because I think it's 20% Bradley liked our podcast, 80% coronavirus.
Pretty much, yeah. So, as many of you will know, he gave us a shout out on Twitface back in December.
Like 5 days
That
after
was
your
nice.
birthday. Happy birthday to you.
And then he gave us another shout out in an Instagram live he did with Tom Hopper and said that he'd like to come on if we'd have him, and obviously we'd have him.
No.
And then Michelle emailed his agent and said,
Hello.
this is what he said in Instagram live, if he fancies it, get in touch.
But like in a really professional
It was
way.
very professional. It was a really professional email. It was very
Shit
casual,
hot.
very cool. I read it. And yeah, then they got back to us and set it up like that.
And said, yeah. And we went, oh my god.
Yeah. So it was very much him doing all of the work. We just sort of sat here and were polite when he turned up.
I did some of the work.
You did a little bit of work. You did. You followed up
work.
very diligently. You followed up.
Little
You were
bit
very
of the
good.
work.
I wouldn't have. I'd have just gone, oh, that's nice.
Now live. But yeah, there's been, I don't know, it's just there's been something really fascinating in regards to coronavirus and celebrities.
Obviously she would.
I would have Bradley if offered. If he offered, or if anyone else offered him. Either way, I'm good.
Oh, Mary, thank you. We were quite happy too. He was so, so lovely. Have we seen his interview in Swagger? I have not.
I have not.
I'm
but
really appalling at keeping up with interviews and press and that kind of
also,
thing.
like, obviously this is not up to him whatsoever, but there are some celebrities that are really good at sharing the stuff that they've done and promoting themselves, and he sometimes is. Like, if he does a photo shoot and he likes one of the pictures, he'll share it. But he's not very good at going, I did an interview, go and read it. So I don't find out, because, yeah. Swagger.
So happy, Brad, about your
Brad.
podcast. Just finished watching mine for the first time and was just watching every man in YouTube video available. Oh, we're glad he tweeted about it too, and we're glad you found us. Hello.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's like the number of people that is like,
Yeah.
it's the casualness of going like, oh, I found you because of Bradley James. And it's like, yeah.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah, no, it's been really insane for exposure for us. It's been really mad. In a really great way, because we've met so many more lovely Merlin fan people.
Would you say it's been fascinating and frustrating? Says Juniper. And then Juniper leaves. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm really chuffed with how the interview came out. It was super exciting to share it this week. It's Saturday. I was very glad that I wasn't working on Thursday when we put it out, because it just meant that I could respond to people and read everyone's genuinely lovely things they had to say about it.
Everyone's been super nice.
But also, it's just like the number of people that just seem to really have enjoyed it and that it
Yeah.
meant a lot to. Because I do think there is always something really, really wonderful about someone that you really like in a TV show or movie or book or whatever, acknowledging the fandom.
You found us because you typed Merlin Podcast into Google. I'm just really glad we come up when you type Merlin Podcast into Google.
Yeah.
It's not a given.
It was something that we worked on quite hard with, like, our first podcast. It's like, okay, so people aren't going to know what this podcast is called, so we need to be able to find it when they search podcast Shadowhunters. And then if that doesn't work, then we're not doing well. Oh, I did see. Sorry, I'm now looking at the Oh, nice.
She's not paying attention
Yeah,
to
I
you
was
anymore.
gonna
There are
share
pictures
it.
of Bradley on the internet.
I was going to share it with the lovely people. Just look, his trousers broke. So sad.
His kneecaps are so manly that they burst through his trousers.
He's a very handsome man.
Handsome man.
Doodle-doo. Yeah, I'll read the words later.
Yeah. Do it on your own time.
I'll do it on my own time. All time is my own time.
All time is
That's
your own
what lockdown
I
means.
decided to talk to you about Merlin for like 10 years because even when it first came out, nobody would talk to me about it, and now I've had your podcast and I've listened to it. Thank you, Abby. We
Also,
love having you.
why would no one talk to you about it?
There's
Did
just-
no one else watch it? I hate it when that happens.
Hi.
You can come. If you want to. You can say hello to the people.
We're glad it made you happy.
I was also pretty much sold on your podcast before I listened to it because of the name. I thought, yeah, this girl's British is one of the best Merlin lines ever written. Oh yeah. It was so exciting when we finally got to it.
Yeah, we
We
had
ha-
such a long list of like names that we were playing with.
Oh,
And
they were all so
they
bad.
were all so like boring and so like
It was really bad.
you know.
And like
Yeah.
one of the things, because we were brainstorming over breakfast, like we went for brunch somewhere, and we were brainstorming over, okay, so Shadowhunters is coming to an end, what we're going to do. We really want to do Merlin, but there's no way we can do this simultaneously. Or maybe it was even before they cancelled it, because I do remember us talking about the fact that we want to do Merlin, but we can't do 2 weekly podcasts. That's insane. So we have to wait until Shadowhunters is over, which could be years from now. Turns out they were cancelled a lot faster than that, but could have been years from now. And then, yeah, we were just kind of doing the legwork of naming it, and it was really, that was really it, naming it. And once we came up with Destiny and Chicken, and we obviously searched and there wasn't anything else called that, like anything else massively fandom related, not even just podcasts. But there wasn't. And I remember saying to you, it's like, how do we copyright this right now? And you're like, well, we have to actually start the stream, and therefore we can't really name it that until we've started a podcast stream and put out our first episode. So we can't. I was so terrified that, I don't know, 10 years after the show ended, someone in the next 6 months was going to decide to start a podcast on the same name. But they didn't, so it was okay.
They didn't. People have said lots of things. Yeah.
You go and check.
What's the weirdest lockdown food combo you've eaten? I've eaten all sorts of weird things because I couldn't taste anything, so I was going kind of entirely on like texture. And
I
so-
know what the weirdest thing is that you've eaten.
What's that?
So, I was making roof scones. Well, I was heating, I didn't bake them, I heated them up. And because Ruth can't taste... No, actually I did make them. I made the microwave scones. But basically because they're made with quite a lot of almond flour and coconut flour, they're quite sweet. So I tend to put in a lot of garlic powder to contrast that. And then what did you do?
So I can't taste anything. So I was eating things on a kind of textural basis, and one of the things that I could kind of get like it's not flavour, it's like a mouth sense, right? So you know the kind of kick you get from chili that's not the flavour of chili, or like the the sour, like, citrus notes that's not, like, actually tasting lemon. So I could get quite a lot of those things before I got any flavour back at all. And so raspberry jam, like quite tart raspberry jam, was something that I was putting on pretty much everything. And so I had a garlic scone with raspberry jam on it. That was apparently quite weird, though I couldn't tell you what the taste sensation
Yeah, but it made you
like
really
in the
sad
end.
once I told you.
Found out, but you had to tell me.
Yeah, you didn't know.
But yeah, I was having dinner of, like, Baby Bell and 3 fish fingers. It was just like it wasn't good.
Drenched in chili.
Yeah.
Are you ever going to do a Black Sales podcast?
We're not. I think is that we may at some point do like a Thinky Thoughts one-shot episode, just talking about how much we like it. But there is a really exemplary Black Sales podcast called Fathoms Deep, which I listened to when we were just starting out podcasting, and it was one of the podcasts which I was listening to that made me want to start podcasting. It's a really great podcast, really thoughtful. They got a lot of cast and creator interviews. They did really, really well with it. They go incredibly in depth into the show, into the narrative, and loads of other stuff. It's
kind of done it.
So I kind of feel like it's out there and it exists, but I think it's also, as far as for me podcasting goes, I'd be concerned about how we'd kind of approach something like Black Sales, because it's so overarching narrative-y that I think our format of doing it episode by episode might struggle a little bit, because we're so committed to talking about each episode as it comes, and I would feel like you needed to do something that was a little bit more big picture. So I think we'd struggle with our format, which would mean that we'd need a different format.
A whole new concept.
So no is the short answer. We will at some point do a Thinky Thoughts about it. But...
Oh, Abby! That's so sad. Yeah, no one I knew watched it. My dad watched it with me, but once the episode ended, he didn't want to talk about it.
That's rubbish.
Ruth has a lovely, lovely, delightful, love her to bits friend who's just the weirdest person to watch, like, a movie. We went to the cinema, and we walked out of the cinema, kind of talking about the movie, and got about 2 meters, and then there were the bathrooms. So I went to the bathroom, I came back, went to pick up the conversation about the movie we just watched, and she'd already gotten over it. She was done. It's like, are you still on about this? It's like, it's been 30 seconds.
3 minutes. Mary's making one of her friends watch Merlin with her, so she can chat with him whilst we watch.
Absolutely.
Good. Yeah, I was saying, Erica, I can taste a little bit. I'm at like 30 to 40% taste capacity.
We have watched Doctor Who. We are not currently watching Doctor Who, Emma. We did do a podcast episode about the Doctor Who's that we have watched and why we haven't watched the current one, etc. If that's something that you're interested, it's on the Thinky Thoughts stream, which I think was quite a fun episode, actually.
Yeah, we enjoyed.
Quite a lot of people liked that one.
We enjoyed that one. I'm getting there, Erica. Yeah, I am. It's much, much better than it was.
One day you will have flavour.
One day I'll be able to actually taste things fully again. But
just because we are on this, Whipple Cream wanted to know, how did he get into podcasting and which one was your first?
So The Descent is Easy was our first podcast. We started that a year before we started anything else.
See you in a moment, Kat.
See you in a minute, Kat. And I wanted to start podcasting. So we started podcasting because I said I wanted to start a podcast, and I made her do it with me.
Yeah, so Ruth came downstairs and he was like, I really want to do a Merlin podcast. And, like, I didn't even listen to podcasts, but I knew that Ruth was really getting into listening to podcasts, and it was like, oh, well, that's a thing that you do that I don't, and that's cool. And she's like, I really want to do a Shadowhunters podcast, because there just isn't one out there that does what I want to listen to, so I'm going to have to do it myself. Be the change you want to see in the world and all that. And I was like, oh, that's great, I would listen to that. Very much not meaning it. But you have to support your loved ones when they have ideas about things they want to do. And then Ruth goes, well, no, you'd have to do it with me. And it's like, okay, right, how do we do a podcast?
Yeah.
And then we learned.
Yeah, and because we're both a little bit mad, we decided that we were going to start a Shadowhunters podcast. And we did about 24 hours of research to see whether kind of it was something that was even vaguely tenable. And then we sat down and we looked at the calendar and decided that if we were going to do a Shadowhunters podcast, just because of when, I think it was season 2B, was starting again, that we had 10 days to set up a podcast and have one episode that we could get out, because that meant that we could do all of the episodes and go live with 2B.
Yeah. So, it was like, okay, like there's 29 episodes we need to do. There's 15 weeks to do it in.
Yep.
So we have to do 2 episodes of the show per episode of our podcast.
Yep.
And we have to start in 10 days. Go.
Yep. So we went from not having thought really of doing a podcast at all to about 24, 36 hours later having about 6 months of podcasts planned.
Well, and like build a website.
We built a website.
And I mean, to this day, there are still things that we have. Like, I don't know what Bluehost does.
Bluehost is the
we have it.
domain.
We need it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it does.
Yeah. So
I don't understand.
We learned how to do it just in a matter of days.
Created artwork for it because you needed to have artwork. It was quite funny in the Bradley James interview when he asked about the intro music and where we get our music from. And having listened to Are You Having a Draft, his fantasy football podcast, I have realised, at the end of their podcast, they spend about 5 minutes thanking all the people that have made this podcast possible. And it makes me feel like people are going to think that we're horribly rude, really awful people, and just don't care about giving credit to anyone. And it's like, no, it's just us. It's like, thank you so much for building the website. Well, thank you so much for doing the artwork. Well, thank you so much for running the social... It just wouldn't work, would it?
No, it wouldn't work at all. So, yeah, no, we're bonkers is how we started podcasting,
Yeah.
basically. And we recorded the first season worth, was it season and a half worth, on my iPad, and then we
recorded the first episode of Shadowhunters twice.
Yeah.
Because we recorded it once, and we thought we were the most hilarious, clever, awesome...
insightful, yeah, all of that.
We wasn't.
We listened back and it was like, no, this is...
It was like, this is literally just us
bad.
being hysterical. So we did it again.
So we did it again. And...
overexcited, hysterical, and slightly fake. That's
It
kind of
wasn't
like,
good.
oh,
It wasn't
boom bush joke.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And we learned to edit, and we went back when we'd finished season 1 of Shadowhunters. When we'd finished the first season of The Descent is Easy, we went back and re-edited the entirety of The Descent is Easy because we'd got so much better at editing. It was a real learn on the job kind of a deal. Mary had a question. I don't know if you asked before, but I couldn't find it on your previous Instagram lives. What sound clips do you use to introduce Thinky Thoughts and Destiny and Chicken? You mean the music?
The intro music.
That's it's a stock clip. They're both from Audio Jungle, so we just went and listened to 85,000.
Yeah. I mean, the way it worked, like for The Descent is Easy, our Shadowhunters podcast, you had a very clear idea in your head on what you wanted the intro music to be.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, let's start a podcast. How do we do this? I don't fucking know. It's like, oh, you sort it out then. So Ruth was mostly in charge of finding out how you build a website, how you host a podcast, how you get a podcast to people. I worked out how to put it on iTunes.
You did.
But finding intro music, or even just the notion of having intro music, was very much your thing. And yeah, you were quite clear on what you wanted with Shadowhunters. So you kind of came to me with 5-6 different stock clips, kind of going, what do you think of these? And then once we started Thinky Thoughts, it was an awful lot more like I had just had more understanding of what it all was. So it was like, okay, we need an intro music, and I want whistling. I want whistling to be in this. So you're searching just whistling, and then you played me like 12 of them. One of them had clapping. There's like, now I want whistling and clapping. So I pretty much got to decide Thinky Thoughts.
Yeah.
Because I wanted whistling and clapping. And then...
D&C we did very much together.
Yeah, very much together.
We listened to 80,000 billion snippets of stock music. Both went a little bit insane. And then picked what we ended up with. And yeah, pretty happy with it.
Lizzie says nothing like a deadline. It's like,
That
yep.
is absolutely the case.
Well, it's also because, yeah, otherwise we would
Go
have just
big or go home.
fannied about forever, wouldn't
Yeah,
we?
no, totally.
Whereas, yeah, literally, like, we have 10 days. And it needs to be done.
I think it's also
Thank you, Amy.
the only reason that that Today took off the way it did, and the only reason we ended up sticking with it for as long as we did was because we managed to sync up with the episodes live. So we were very much part of like the ongoing conversation, where I think both, not just in terms of like whether that meant people were listening to us or not, but in terms of keeping our interest, that we were very much like continuing to have a conversation that was going on the podcast and off the podcast, and between ourselves and between other friends on the internet and that sort of thing. So I think it was very, very much integral to why it worked, certainly for the first year or so.
There's a Firefly podcast years ago called The Signal, as in Can't Stop the Signal. I have already put it into Google.
You can't see the phone screen.
It's okay, it's The Signal. I wasn't like, this wasn't like proving, but I want to check that out. I love Firefly.
Are we in regular contact with other podcasters? We have a little handful of podcasting friends. We chat to the Merlisten girls and the girls on Slayerfest. Katie from Slayerfest.
Get Slayed.
Get Slayed. Sorry. Katie's not here, but I'm sorry. Yes, Get Slayed, that's right.
Slayerfest is what happened on the television.
Yes. So, yeah.
It would also be a good name for a Buffy podcast.
We talk to them, but...
Yeah, and like I've
otherwise, no.
talked to a couple of people who basically wanted advice on starting a podcast. But there's like a bunch of groups that I've signed up for. I follow Art of Podcast on Twitter, who put out occasionally like quite interesting articles and stuff. But yeah, not hugely in the community. Not huge. I'm sorry, Abby. When I first heard the intro to the one that starts with Arthur saying Destiny and Chicken, it scared me. I was not expecting it. Yeah. We had someone who listened to the interview. They were at school and they decided to listen to like 10 minutes as a treat in the break and basically started crying of Bradley James introducing himself and then had to get through the rest of the school day.
So sorry.
Yeah, it does sound as this is Liz is saying that wish there was something like F&F about the Untamed. It does seem like there is a severe lack of, I don't know, whatever it is that we do. Tediously long form meta for the Untamed. Now we've got about 5 more minutes before we get cut off.
Cat! Yes.
And also have to go for dinner. So do we have any more right now questions? Is my actual favourite song?
This one?
Or possibly the one that was before this, because
I
this
don't
might
know.
have been a while ago.
I'm glad. I'm glad that your favourite song has come up. If you could just please produce a podcast for every form of media I can see, we would love to, Amy. We'd love to.
To be fair, we're working quite hard at that. We have an unreasonable amount of podcasts.
I've got a real job, though. It's very unfortunate.
It would be nice if your current real job paid you to do this.
It would.
That would be awesome.
They won't. They refuse.
No, the bastards. Now, despite having gone through all of the YA Would You Rather Shadowhunters edition,
Yeah.
we haven't actually covered any of the questions.
So can you do one more quick? Thank you, Amy. We appreciate it.
We do try. We do try. Also, I'm so looking forward to Yuri.
It's so weird because we recorded the episodes like
Literally a year ago.
yeah, it was forever ago. So I haven't like listened to them since we recorded them. So I have absolutely no idea what we talk about.
Oh yeah, of course, because I've been editing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been editing them, so you haven't.
Do we know how many hours of podcasts we have published? I'm pretty sure I've listened to them all.
I did the maths for Shadowhunters at the end of Shadowhunters. I can't remember
which
the maths.
will be out of date now because we've done
More.
book club since.
An insane amount.
Lots. It was like
It's really annoying. iTunes doesn't do the thing where it summarises for you. You have to literally manually do the maths.
yeah. We should do the maths at some point though, just for.
I have done it multiple times, but just not in date. It is nice to have a real job as well. Yeah. It's one of those things, like, I would quite like to do this full time, but possibly if I was doing it full time, I might not like to do it full time anymore.
I think the amount we'd have to do it in order to earn a living on it would make it less fun. I think we'd get burnout.
Diana's gonna watch You're on Ice because of us. Yay.
Hooray.
I want to say, just like, you're gonna love it, but that might not be true. But it's awesome. You're gonna love it.
ATLA?
Atla.
I don't know that one. Do you?
Get nothing.
Did we answer the question, what fantasy world would we go to if we could? We did not. What
No,
fantasy world would you go to if you could?
It's still on the list. There's so many things we haven't answered, but dinner is ready.
Abby's asked though. We've got 3 minutes. Go quick.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. We have not seen Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I've not.
Yeah, it was basically where would you live for a week?
For a week?
And I think the week was quite an interesting, specific. You know, makes it quite unlikely that you're gonna die of like cut on finger if you went to live in the Merlin times.
It depends on what I got to do, because I'd really like to see Hogwarts.
Yeah.
But if I just went and lived in Harry Potter world, I'd probably be a muggle, and therefore I wouldn't get to see Hogwarts.
True.
So it would depend.
True. Well, no, I assume you get to be in this fantasy setting.
If I get to be magic
So, yeah.
and be in the fantasy world also,
I think if it's for a week, definitely somewhere that's either magic or covered in unicorns.
yeah.
Or
But see, possibly
like
you'd have
Atlantis.
everything. You could see unicorns. You could see dragons.
You could live underwater.
You could live underwater for a bit. You could be in Hogwarts. You could fly on a broomstick. You could see what it was like to be invisible.
And Doctor Who would be quite cool as well.
Doctor Who would be really cool.
I'm so sad we never got that Merlin Doctor Who crossover. That would have just been the best.
Everybody go and read The Last Avalon.
It is a fanfic.
Two flower on the Discworld. Yes, very good shout. Yes. Oz, Wizard of, yes, good. Good. All good choices.
Oh, very good choices.
I'd also like to live in his Dark Materials land for just a little bit, just to see what my demon would look like.
And then just like hang out with your demon.
But it would be really sad
But
to
that-
say
yeah,
goodbye
that'd
after
be
a week.
miserable.
Though Will didn't have to. He went back to the real world and he didn't have to. He
Spoilers.
could keep seeing his
Spoilers.
demon. The books have been out for like 25 years.
Spoilers. Yeah, but it's a TV show now. The counting starts over. We have 1 minute left. Someone answer Lizzie on whether the Airbender is uplifting, dramatic, or sad, because we do not know the answer.
We do not. Middle Earth, yes, good. Middle Earth, food. But I would like a Hobbit house just for my life normally.
Hobbit houses are.
I'd be very sad if
just
I only got to live in one
the
for a
most
week.
beautiful.
We had a 2-night stay when we went to Skye in we had this little hut thing.
It was like a wooden
hostel.
yurt.
Yeah.
It was just the
But it was
cutest.
a little Hobbit house. It was really, really cute.
I'll post photographs of the hostel on Instagram.
Yeah.
We keep bringing up holiday memories, then we have to share them to go, this is what we meant, but it was just so cute.
It was so cute.
Right, we're
Okay.
gonna go for dinner. Thank you everyone for joining us. We've still got a long list of questions, so I guess we're gonna be scheduling a next Instagram live sooner than planned.
Yeah.